We go to sports.
Wow!
And the award for Best Virtue Signal goes to ESPN for saying the Olympics.
What?
And America.
What?
Then we go to the WNBA.
We don't give a fuck.
Where a coach gets suspended for supposed derogatory words towards a black player.
You sure about that?
All the while, its franchise, Caitlin Clark.
Oh, Caitlin Clark!
Continues to get beat up.
What the hell's going on out here?
Nice. I'm Jazz Berganzo on this. Remember when politics and sports had nothing to do with each other?
Brilliant!
Good times. But it's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Monday. And of course, as always, new day, a new week, and new bullshit. And yes, there's plenty of bullshit here. You get a twofer. Yes, 2 stories for the price of 1. Of course, we go to sports. ESPN gives out the best award for virtue signaling to themselves because the Olympics and America. Then we go to the WNBA where a coach was suspended for supposed derogatory words towards its black player. All the while, its franchise, Caitlin Clark, continues to get mugged and beat up on a nightly basis. But then again, I'm just calling out facts. And here we go. This comes out of Outkick. There's multiple stories in this, but I'm just going to concentrate on the one. Is ESPN serious with this snub? Yes, the U.S. Olympics team gets snubbed by the ESPYs because of virtue signaling and, of course, the New York Knicks. Anyway, before we start, this is commentary from the writer. Watch the video if you haven't. I watch the Jimmy V speech once a year at the ESPYs, and it's just the best. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, Jimmy Valvano, who was the coach of the NC Wolfpack back in '83 when they won the NCAA collegiate men's title, was diagnosed with cancer, but he had a speech in 1993 at the ESPY Awards, at the ESPY Awards, which of course were the ESPN Awards back then. One of the greatest speeches of sports, life, all wrapped up in the one. I mean, it really tugs at the heartstrings. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, pull it up. Jimmy Valvano speech or Jimmy V speech. And it is incredibly touching and moving, and yet is still relevant today. Anyway, we've gone back from that moment from 1993 to this moment last night in the latest edition of the ESPYs. And yeah, this is Savannah Bananas. Never heard of them, don't really give, but here they are.
New York City, give it up for the Savannah Bananas!
Follow the lights to a time that you won't want to end. Don't try to fight when the gravity's pulling you in.
That's enough. Anyway, Lordy, the difference that 30 years can make is truly remarkable. Do you think people in 96 who are alive and well in their 50s and 60s today saw a society transformation quite like this? No shot, right? While the little performance was certainly a talker, the real talker of the night? Nope. That took place a few hours later when the New York Knicks were inexplicably named the best team. Other finalists? Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA, who won their championship, no one cares. The Dodgers, who won the World Series. The Indiana Hoosiers won the NCAA Men's Collegiate Football title. Carolina Hurricanes, who won the Stanley Cup. Texas Longhorns, who won the NCAA Softball Championship. The Seattle Seahawks, who won the Super Bowl. By the way, no one cares. It's Seattle. Come on, stop. And then we get to the U.S. men's hockey team and women's hockey team, who, by the way, both won gold medals. Anyway, this coming from X. Should have gone to Team USA. This is the Knicks accepting their Team of the Year award, and I won't spend too much time on it because it's baloney.
Up here, I want to say thank you to the ESPYs for pulling Josh Hart's invite.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all, ESPY, so much. We really appreciate that.
Okay.
Say thank y'all from all my teammates, and I hope this trophy, especially here in New York, getting this trophy shows the word love.
No one cares. Anyway, this coming from another. ESPN has a hot pack of ass every year because they give the facade of covering the past year in sports holistically when they actually don't. Egregious that this Megan Keller goal to secure the goal for the USA didn't win anything.
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, United States, wins gold and bond!
They won the gold medal, and yet them. Anyway, another. And the ESPYs for Best Team Award goes to the Knicks. Screws USA Hockey. I'm sick for Team USA. Of course, this is another X user. USA men's and women's hockey teams both went undefeated in the Olympics and won golden goals by Jack Hughes and Megan Keller, respectively, and not a single ESPY tonight. Even with how much hockey's grown, it still lags far behind other sports. It has nothing to do with sports. It's all about politics. Goodness gracious. Let me make sure I got this right. The USA men's and women's Olympic hockey team both won gold medals this year, with the men's winning for the first time since the Miracle Game. Yes, do you believe in miracles? From 1980, 46 years, and yet did not get the recognition that they solely deserve. And ESPN instead gave the award for best team to the New York Knicks, who haven't won a title in 50-something years. And then again, the NBA, today's NBA, is weak, soft as parquet margarine, plays no defense, shoots three-pointers, and dunks. And yet, and also, did I forget the mid-season championships that they give out to each other? Yes, there are multiple, but screw the Olympics. Okay, okie dokie, makes sense. And of course, let's go to Kashi Sports, where they put in the odds on winning Play of the Year at 90%. Anubi's tipping for the Knicks at 9%. Braylon Mullins shot to defeat Duke. 2%. Caleb Williams of the NFL for the Bears. TD to beat the Rams. And then at a 2%, the USA Golden Goal men's and women's each. Yeah. Now we go to this. This coming out of Breitbart. WNBA coach suspended for calling Angel Reese a, quote, protected species. What? WNBA coach finds herself suspended for one game after making a comment about Angel Reese and that the league deemed controversial. But Caitlin Clark, anyway, Sandy Brunella, head coach of the Toronto Tempo, called Reese a protected species after disagreeing with the ref's decision during a team's 111-92 loss to Reese and the Atlanta Dream. The WNBA announced Saturday that the coach would be suspended for one game. Quote, the WNBA expects all coaches and team personnel to uphold the highest of standards of professionalism and respect that are fundamental to our league, the league said in a statement. Before the league suspended her, Brunella apologized, because of course she did, for the remark. Quote, Angel, I'm sorry. Last night, the emotions of the moment, the heat of the moment, over Nayara Sabali's injury, I used a phrase that I shouldn't have. I take full responsibility for that. My frustration with the officiating by my words unfairly put the focus on you, Brunello wrote on X. The brouhaha originated when Reese knocked down Sabali with her shoulder while going up for a shot. Sabali was assessed a foul despite being hurt and falling to the floor. Angel, she's a protected species, Brunello as heard yelling as she laid on the ground injured. Are we surprised? Of course, Reese replied to a post about Brunello's comments on X. She also tagged Brunello's account with a clown emoji. In a follow-up post, Brunello lamented her damaged words might have done to the black women. Quote, I also understand that my words carry an impact beyond what I intended, particularly for black women in our league, yes. And I'm deeply sorry for that, Brunello wrote. I spent my career competing with, coaching, and learning from incredible black women. So touching. First, with ESPN giving out the best virtual signal to themselves. You have literally a once-in-a-lifetime event where both the men's and the women's Olympic hockey teams in the Winter Olympics win gold medal. You have the men's hockey team, who hasn't won since 1980. The Do You Believe in Miracle game. Of course, it wasn't the Miracle game. That was actually, they beat the Soviet Union. Then they went on to go on to the Olympic. They went on to the gold medal game. That is where they won the gold medal. But everybody just remembers the 1980 for that wonderful and amazing win against Soviet Union. Soviet Union was just unstoppable back then. And then, of course, you got the women's team, who, again, went undefeated. They both went undefeated. Both had great play of the year, but yet not even a sniff at play of the year or even teams of the year. They gave it to the Knicks. One, because it's in New York. Two, because they virtue signaled. Because, sorry, but today's NBA is absolute trash. And then we go on to the WNBA. Speaking of trash, a league who is literally being held up by Caitlin Clark, whose shoulders are so big she has to hold up that entire league, because if she's not playing, no one's watching. Well, no, I won't really say that, because you got Sophie Cunningham. Anyway, So a coach gets suspended for supposed derogatory words towards another black player, protected species, whatever. And then, of course, she apologizes for it and then doubles down the apology with more apology, because how I offended black women. But yet Caitlin Clark, who is getting beat up on a nightly basis, physically and mentally beat up and drained, you don't hear a peep from her coach. You don't hear a peep from the WNBA commissioner. Nothing. Crickets. It's all you hear. But let's suspend the coach for supposed, butthurt words. Anyway, with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace.